Yo, what's up, my fellow pimps, players, and hustlers? Welcome to the episode 3 of the podcast. Today, I want to talk about a few different things. One of them being self-limiting beliefs, self-sabotage, and 2, short-term thinking and short-term focus. So, I wrote an email for a client today who is in the financial niche, and I was talking about how crypto has become like falling off the face of the earth. Like people are like panicking right now, right? I really made it into a very persuasive email. But even when I was making the email, I was like, man, this is really good information that I really believe. And I was like, what happens when people start to panic is they have this like short-term focus where it instantly snaps you into a position where everything becomes very granularly focused. Like you have these blinders on where you can't see long-term, you can't see potential outcomes of things in the future. So people start to panic and then they become very just not able to focus on thinking long-term. And that becomes a very big problem when you're trying to accomplish certain goals in life and you become very short-term focused. It's very hard for you to remain motivated, right? And so it reminded me let me share, it reminded me of something that happened today, but I want to share my background with you all because a lot of people don't really know who I am. They just know me through Hustlers University. I was learning how to trade the Forex market for like 7 or 8 years. I spent my life dedicated to trying to figure this shit out. I didn't do anything else. Let me go back. I did do a few other things along the way, but for the most part, I was spending about 2 or 3 hours a day learning how to trade the Forex market. And at some points recently in the past, year or two, I was spending 3-4 hours trading in the morning. Then I would go to work. And then when I got off work, I would spend another 1 or 2 hours trying to learn and think about like what I did for the trades that day, how I can improve, how I can get better. I spent so much time trying to become a better trader and it never happened. And I only recently quit trading. It was very hard for me to stop, but I realized a very key thing that I want to talk about today as well is sometimes your personality just does not fit the thing that you're trying to do. And you can try and push it and try and really change the way you are, but I feel like you have to have a certain personality type to do certain things. And one of the things with trading is you need to be very, very patient. Trading is like one of those skills where you have to be able to just sit in front of a chart and be very bored for hours. It's not good for someone who's an extrovert, who's good at sales, who's good at bringing energy to things, who wants to move and fluctuate. My brain loves to be encapsulated with things. My brain loves to do certain things. And so if my brain's not occupied, it's running all over the place. And that makes it where I don't trust my strategy, or I end up taking bad trades I shouldn't take, etc. And I was consistent enough, but it wasn't enough to where I could think I could become really successful, or what my mentors were doing. My mentors were making, a good amount of money. And now whether that was true or not, I started to question it. I was like, I didn't know if it was real. And I had always wondered for a long time. But after a certain point, I realized it doesn't even matter if it's real or not. It doesn't fit my personality. Let's just double down on this marketing thing because I've done it before. I know what I'm doing. I have a way to get clients, which I never had. And I'm like, cool, let's just double down on that shit now. And one of the things that I learned when I was trading, the big lesson I learned is when people take losses in trading, right? Because trading is all about probabilities. It's all about, okay, cool, your strike rate or your win rate is like 40% or 50%, meaning, you're going to lose 6 out of 10 trades, but you can still be profitable if your risk to reward is every time you win, you make 3%, and every time you lose, you make 1%. You're still profitable over a long enough time horizon. But what happens is when people take a trade, right, and they lose that trade, even though they understood what I just said, they understand that their strategy is profitable over the long term. It's like what happens is when you take that loss, you become so zeroed in, so focused on that one loss, it's very hard for you to think long term. And this really applies into how I deal with things when I'm doing marketing and stuff, because there's a lot of people who I feel like I've progressed past them just because of the lessons I learned when I was trading. When I was trading, as I told you, you had to learn to be able to handle losses and think long term. You had to think in probabilities, like, you know what, not everyone's going to answer, it doesn't fucking matter, I'm just going to keep going. So what happens is some days I'll reach out and I'll get 0 people to reply to my outreach methods. And it can be very discouraging. You can be like, I don't feel very good because, I no one responded, or someone gave me a shit response, they told me to fuck off, or whatever it is, it's very easy to then become demotivated and feel really bad. And then you wake up the next day not energized. You have to be able to learn to focus on the process and to focus on probabilities, right? Because everything in life is probabilities. And that's where trading really helped me to learn in life. Because it's like, what's the probability of someone responding to you? Well, let's just say there's a 10% chance of someone responding to you. That means out of 100 people you reach out to, only 10 are going to respond to you. And out of those 10 that respond to you, maybe 2 or 3 will then actually be like, hey, send me your free value or whatever. And then out of those, maybe 1 jumps on a call, or maybe 2 or 3 jump on a call, and then maybe 1 actually closes. Or maybe your strike rate's a lot lower. But the problem is people don't think about this. They don't think in probabilities. And it's very easy to get discouraged, including myself. That's something I've been dealing with lately. And I've been learning, like I've been feeling my brain like shifting, where I no longer am falling into those susceptible patterns where if I don't get what I want that day, I don't feel bad. Like, I will feel bad, but I still wake up the next day super energized, super motivated to like, let's get it. Like, I have these tasks that I need to do. I need to do them every single day. I talked about it in the other video. You need to do them every single day. And if you do those every day, then you won, right? That's all that matters. As long as you keep focusing on that over and over and over again, and you don't get discouraged, more and more people are going to drop off. You're going to keep excelling. Eventually, someone's going to want to work with you. Then when someone does want to work with you, you build a great relationship with that person while you're still over here doing outreach. And eventually you get another person. And while you're still doing really well for that first client, then that first client might then refer someone to you. Now you have another client, and then you do really well for those 2 or 3 first clients. And the next thing you know, they refer you to other people, or you use that as case studies to then use for Twitter or Instagram or whatever. And so while you had this one outreach method that started out, that got you the first client, then that first client catapults you into using that as a case study that you can use to build up your Twitter, and you start DMing people on Twitter, and you have social proof, and you have proof of that. Hey, I helped this person go from 0 sales to 35 sales a month at a $500 product. That's something I've done. And then people are like, oh my God, that's really compelling. And then they want to work with you. Next thing you know, you have this trajectory where it's just, you start out like this, and you have this bell curve where it just takes off, and you have this compounding effect. It's the same thing that happened with trading, right? Maybe you're only making 5% a month on trading, right? Or 2% a month, but that compounding over a long time becomes way more. And Warren Buffett talks about this all the time, where the compounding effect is better than everything else. And so what happens is people get discouraged over here, and they forget about the fact that you just need one person. You just need one person to say yes. Once that one person says yes, then you're good. But do not get discouraged along the way. It's very, very easy. It's so easy to get discouraged. Quit focusing on the result. I know it's easy to say that in the moment. I've heard people say it for a very long time, but you just have to shift your mindset, right? There was this thing that I used to say to people all the time when I was in trading groups. I was very popular in these trading groups because I was in them for a long time. So I was really connected with the community. I would talk to all the coaches. I would interact with people, and I learned a lot of lessons that I now apply into my life, which I think has helped me get a head start. Whereas other people suffer because they don't have the right mindsets. And one of the things that I learned in there was, damn, what was the point I was going to say? This is where the podcast comes in. I'm not going to cut this shit. I'm not trying to fucking be like most people and edit it and make it look good. Oh yeah, there was a thing in trading, right? There'd be people that'd be like, man, I have this problem, right? Like, whenever I took a loss, it's hard for me to want to take another trade again, or it's hard for me to want to stick to my plan, right? Like, how do you stick to your plan and not stick to your trading plan and not allow that to, like, how do you not get the fear of missing out to where you don't want to take another trade? And I'm like, you just don't. Like, you know what to do. There's nothing that I can tell you. There's no video you're going to watch. There's no course. There's no nothing. You know what to do. You're just being a fucker. Like, I had to say this to so many people. I'm like, you know what to do. But in your mind, there's this moment in your mind where you have this lapse where you're like, well, I know what to do, but I'm just going to ignore it this one time. And even if I ignore it, who cares? I'll just be the person who's like, well, I learned a lesson from it. There was people that would say, you always learn lessons from your losses, which I do agree with. But people would take that so far to the extreme where they'd be okay with doing dumb shit because in their mind, they're like, well, it's going to be a lesson. So it doesn't even matter anyways. It's going to be a lesson. I'm like, no, that's a terrible mindset. And the same thing happens with people in the Hustlers University 2.0 in the marketing group. There's people that they know what to do. You know what to do. The tutorials are there. You've watched other people do exactly what I've done and what other people have done and what Andrew has done. You know what to do. You know the right path. But what happens is you want someone to tell you what to do. You think that there's some like secret thing they did or some magical thing or, oh, they had a different mindset than me. Like, how do you develop this mindset? You just do, right? And there's this great interview with this guy who used to trade for a proprietary firm. It's like a prop firm. It's basically like a firm where they raise a bunch of capital and then they give you that capital to trade with if you're a really good trader. And there was this guy, his name was Tom. He was a really good trader. I used to love listening to him, Tom Dante. And there was this interview where he's talking about like, there's this problem where people are like, I don't know what to do. I can't handle losses, And he said the same thing that I said, where he's just like, you just do it. There's no book you're going to read. There's no nothing. You just get to a point where you've taken enough losses where you're just like, I'm tired of this shit happening. I'm just going to do it. Like, fuck it. I know what to do. I'm tired of this shit. I'm just going to do it. There's no book you're going to read. There's no nothing. And he gave the analogy of like, imagine you went to go work for a sales job. And you went in and you told your boss, okay, cool. Your boss is like, okay, cool. Call 50 people. Cold call 50 people. Go ahead. Here's the phone. Here's the script. Go ahead. And you call the first one. First guy's like, fuck off. Hangs up. You call the next one. First guy's like, dude, stop calling me. Bye. Next one, it's like, shut the fuck up. You're annoying, bitch. Bye. And then by the fourth call, you're like, you're a little timid. You're a little scared. So you go to your boss and you're like, well, I'm a little scared to call the next person. I don't know what to do. Like, what's he going to say? He's going to give you a book, tell you to read the book, and then fucking make calls. And if you're like, oh, I still don't know what to do, he's going to be like, piss off then. Like, don't work here. But people don't want to hear that. They want to hear like, oh, well, I read a book and then I slowly over time sort of figure things out. People love the story of like, I hit rock bottom and then I finally learned my lesson after blowing my account 17 times. Like there was this problem in trading where people would blow their accounts like 20 times. I blew 0 accounts ever because I knew what not to do. I didn't just say, oh, well, it doesn't matter because it's $100 or like it's just like this weird analogy and this weird mindset where you just have to do it. There's literally like, I'm just going to keep emphasizing this point. There's no book I'm going to give you. There's no nothing. You just hit that point where you have that mindset and you're like, man, I don't want to do this thing. I don't want to do the call tomorrow, or I don't want to reach out to 10 prospects because what if they say no? Who cares? Do you know it works? Are you following a proven process? Yes. Have other people done it? Yes. Well, then shut the fuck up. Just do it. You know it works. Just do it. You know what to do. And that's the problem is people don't like to hear that. They want to just like, let me just keep reading books. Let me keep watching podcasts. Let me keep watching this video. Oh, this person has a mindset that I want to have. Just look at someone that has a mindset that you want to have and just emulate it. Just be like, you know what? When you hit that crossroad and you're like, okay, I can go left or right. Either I do the thing or I don't do the thing. Well, I don't know. I don't feel good. Just go left and do the right thing. I promise, regardless of your feelings, just do it. I'm telling you, I'm trying to save you a lot of time. Seriously, I'm trying to save you a lot of time, headache, and frustration. Anywhere you go in life, any project you do, you're going to hit this roadblock. You're going to hit the stumble. You have to just figure it out. Seriously. So anyways, that was today's podcast. Hope you really enjoy it. I want to keep it very raw, real, truthful. Again, just stick to the basics, all right? Now, if you want to join a group of hustlers where you're going to learn things like crypto, DeFi, NFTs, how to buy, they have a algorithm in there that tells you where to trade, right? I told you I used to trade. This is the best shit I ever fucking learned. Like they're really on their shit when it comes to learning how to trade in here. If you want to learn copywriting, marketing, freelancing, e-commerce, any kind of skill, like wealth creation skill that's in today's society, like affiliate marketing, they teach all that in this group, and it's taught by people who are at least making $10, $20, $30,000 a month. Some of them are making $100,000 a month. Some are making $1 million a year. They're all verified people. They're all people that have the right skill sets. They have tutorials that hold you by the hand from beginner to advanced. They teach you everything you could possibly want to know. It's not just like a group for advanced people. It's not just a group for beginner people. They have legit things and videos and tutorials teach you everything. So if you want to learn those things and you want to be a network full of other hustlers, click the link in the description. It's going to take you to a page that I built where it's just going to tell you about some few different things, share my story about how Hustlers University has helped me. And then it's going to take you to another page of Andrew Tate's, which is like an affiliate page. You just sign up there. Once you sign up, you'll get a Discord link in 24 hours of how to actually join the group. Cool. Anyways, take care. Hope you enjoy. See you tomorrow. Peace.